think this was something you were saying. You were like, don't go to your friends. Like, you don't go to certain friends anyways for relationship advice. I'm curious, where do all of you guys, if you're having relationship issues, do you go to, TikTok? Do you go to a therapist? Do you call your parents? Do you go to friends? Like, where are
Watch
you
the Turbo
finding...
Dude podcast. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, where do you go when you are looking for relationship advice?
Well, I go to my mom and dad. They've been married.
Yeah.
They've been married longer than they've been single. So
yeah.
I think they've been married for like 30 years.
Nice.
They're old. Yeah. But I go to them, and it's kind of like whenever I ask them for like relationship advice, it's like a whole different like parent lore that I'm learning. It's like,
interesting.
You guys did long distance for like 7 or 8 weeks. Like, how was that? And she's like, well, the weekends were fun. And I'm like, okay, TMI. But like, it's kind of just like I go to my mom and dad, and it's like, well, when my mom put diesel in the lawnmower one time, she was absolutely destroyed. But my dad was like, it's just a lawnmower, and it's like something where, you just like have this problem, and it's really not that big of a deal if you really look at it. It's like, put it in context, it's not that big of a deal. And so just trying to go to my mom and dad for that, who've been married forever and ever, it's like, just put it in context. You get through these problems, and my mom and dad have been really helpful in my relationships, and it's just like, yo, how'd you get around this situation? They're like, just talk to them. And honestly, that's
the answer. Like,
just
so
talk
often,
to them. Yeah, just talk to them. It might be difficult, but it's easier to just get it out there than holding it in, holding a grudge. But I also go to my therapist. If I don't want to go to my mom and dad, if it's something way too personal, I'm like, hey, so how do I get around this situation? And my therapist is pretty good about that. So
cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so that makes sense.
Yep.
Parents and therapy.
Yeah, I mean, going to someone that has a real successful relationship, I think that's the biggest thing. And then I have one friend I literally talked to about it. He's married, so he'll call me on my bullshit. I think I can cuss a little bit now.
You can. You're good to go. Drop the F-bombs. Feel free.
So if I'm on one, he'll be like, dude, you're being too much. I'm like, okay, cool. My bad. That's on me. But I think that having someone that has both perspectives, so for sure.
I don't go to anyone.
No, nobody?
I have trust issues. I don't trust anyone. So he says something that I actually 100% agree. It's like, nobody knows your relationship more than you and your partner do. So I feel like if we had an issue, I don't want people to know my problems, first of all. And second of all, they would never find a solution for us because they don't know us. They don't know our relationship. We don't know how we work together. So the only person that is going to find a solution is either me or you, the people in the relationship. So if I had a problem, I talk to him, and he's super good at helping me. He's helping me a lot currently. So I don't talk to people about my problems, about my relationship. Nobody knows about my relationships, problems. We really don't argue that much, so it's not that big of a deal, but still, I don't trust people.
I might disagree with you guys on that particular point. I generally think that, like, for me, this is just for me, I think that one of the best ways that we can get a better idea of whether there's issues in our own relationships is by talking to a multitude of people. Like for me, that's like my parents, it's my brother, it's a number of like my really close friends. I think that like kind of like the way that you would like find out if like news is legitimate by looking at it online. Like I think when we look at the body of work of multiple news sources, we get a better idea of what's actually going on. And I feel like the same thing applies to our relationships as well. Maybe one person might not know the intricacies of one of your guys' relationships, but if you ask enough people, I feel like you start to get a better idea for the most part, or it can help in finding like a determination whether there's like problems going on. I think the issue that might arise with certain people, and I'm not saying like you guys in particular, is maybe you're both blind to a particular problem that you might need outside help in solving. But that's my own sort of idea on what I'm talking about here. But what do you think, Joe?
Yeah, I kind of find myself in like the middle because I'm a very friendly person, right? But I take a very long time to actually trust people, actually like years. And so at this point, I have like 2 people and like my dad who I will call if something's going on in my relationship. who like I respect their opinion. I trust them to maybe point out things that, like you were saying, that I can't see. Because oftentimes I'll get blinded, I'll get overwhelmed, I'll be insecure about something or whatever, and just like I can't see straight. I need someone else to help me with this. But it has taken me a very long time to get there, because it is because trust is difficult, you know, in any kind of relationship, friendship, whatever it is. But I have always found it very important, because I didn't do that for so many years, and it really shot me in the foot, because I needed other input and I didn't get that. And so now I like really make a point to make sure that the people close to me like know me, know my life, know what's going on, and know that like I respect their input.
Yeah, the problem is that I don't have really so much close friends.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
As
Understandable.
I, said,
I
I
get it.
have a lot of trust issues, so
Yeah.
I'm always scared that if I make a friend, they're gonna betray me in the
Yeah.
future. I have to work on this because it's not
hard,
healthy.
right? It's
But
really hard.
I've been betrayed a lot of times. Friends talking.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm super scared of open up with a friend.
Yeah.
I have a best friend in Italy, but he doesn't know anything about me and him.
Yeah.
I just don't feel comfortable talking about my problems to other people. That's it.
I think when you've experienced betrayal like that, it does. I mean, it leaves a mark, and it takes a while
Yes.
to be able to figure out what trust looks like for you, and
Yes.
like experiment in ways. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
It takes
Yeah.
years, and I think confidence in yourself and the people that you're around, and trusting yourself and the people you is a huge thing. And seeing like who to trust, and I mean, it takes time, because I mean, like from how I am now to how I was when I was 20. I mean, you see, the older you get, the more friends you lose, and the more and the closer people you get with. And I think it just, it just takes time. That's all it is.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think that there, I'm very like selective in who I allow into my like my close personal space, bubble, whatever you want to call it, my inner circle. I do think it's important to have things that you can bounce ideas off of, or people in your life that you can bounce ideas off of. Generally, because I just think there's a lot of insight to be gained, and I'm not even just talking about relationships here, but like business ideas. There are lots of people that I hit up about multiple things, even if I'm already pretty sure I know what I'm going to be doing.